everyone. Welcome to Fiction in Real Life. We're so excited to be here. We're really excited about our Halloween special episode. You know how much I love Halloween and all things creepy and horrific. We're happy to have Jen back with us. She's had a bit of a rough time with this and that happening right when we're supposed to film. So we're happy to have her back with us. And we have a super special guest today who I will introduce in a minute. But first of all, let's see if Jen has some writing news she wants to share with us.
Oh, fun. It is so good to be back. I wish I had time to tell you all the reasons I haven't been here. They've been long and boring. So it's actually maybe good we don't share. But let's see. I have a book launching in November called To Win Her Hand, and I've been working on it forever. I've had lots of books leading into it. It's the Regency Hitch version. So it's like a male matchmaker who helps men learn how to woo women in the best way. And I'm really excited about it. So it's like mid-November coming out.
Oh, that sounds super fun. I'm excited. That sounds really great.
Thanks.
Okay, we do have a giveaway today. We're giving away this really, really fun book that's perfect for the Halloween season called The Piper's Ghost. And it's a great story about a guy who's in a pipe band and he goes to Scotland and uncovers this huge family mystery. And he's got to figure out all this stuff. It's really fun, The Piper's Ghost. And it's by Deanne Thomas. Well, who is Deanne Thomas? You might be asking. I will tell you. She is our special guest. And I will say that I am super impressed by Deanne. I just really admire her a lot. She is the kind of person that knows what she wants to do and then she just does it. And I think it's so awesome. She is a piper in the Utah Pipe Band. She is a paranormal expert with Advanced Paranormal Services. And she is the one that helped me out during the voodoo doll crisis that you may recall from a previous episode. And that is her website if you want to look into that at all. She also has a podcast called The Supernatural Hour. She is the mother of 12 children. And she is going to school right now at the University of Utah in Middle Eastern Studies with an emphasis on Arabic. And she is a BYU fan. Or maybe I should say fanatic. I don't know. One of those two. Anyway, we're super excited.
It's a struggle.
We're super excited to have her here with us. And she's going to share a couple of experiences that she has had. And then we will talk about them. So I will just let you go ahead.
So when people ask me tell me your favorite ghost story or ghost thing that has happened to you, probably one of my very earliest ghost investigating times was when this happened. So it's out at Asylum 49, and Asylum 49 is in Tooele. And at one point, it was half of it was a ghost hunting place. Ghost hunters would go out there. They will do a spook alley there in October. And then the other half was a rest home, and it's magnificently haunted. And there's a particular room in the ghost hunting side. It was a conference room, and it's where two child spirits hung out. And I have issues with child spirits, but that's a story for another time. But apparently there's two children spirits that are there. And we'd, gone in, and spirits can actually smell things. And so people will bring things that these children's spirits can smell. And so we'd been trying to ask questions, and had all of our equipment all over the table, and we'd gotten some play with the lights that we had out, and taken some pictures. And it was getting late, and we were tired, and we just kind of had given up on ghost hunting, and we're just kind of shooting the breeze. And it was probably right around midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. And we heard what sounded like some kids playing out in the hall. And all of us kind of ignored it at first. And then we had voice recorders going, because that's, one of the ways we get evidence is just to have a recorder going, and then you go back and listen to it. And you hear me in the recording say, "Did you guys just hear kids in the hallway?" And then, a couple of people are like, yeah, we did. And the only people in the building was our group. There were no children in there. The youngest person in the building was probably 20, 21 years old. And we all scrambled for our recorders. We said, we gotta, see if we got that on tape, because there was probably 6 of us in the room, maybe 8 of us, and all of us heard it. And so we actually caught it on 2 recorders, and it's a child's voice that says, "Mommy, mommy, I'm over here, mommy." And that was probably just because we heard it. We call it, what do we call it? But when you hear it in person, you're not going back and hearing it on a recorder, but you're hearing it in person. And everybody heard it. It was spooky.
Wow.
I think that sounds very spooky just because it was a child, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Julie, you're muted. Did you?
I'm at our cabin in Montana at this moment, all alone, and it's so freaky.
Yeah, chills, right? Ooh.
Okay, Jen, would you book it?
I think it's a fascinating story, and Deanne, I think you're awesome. I just never write paranormal anything, and so I can't really book it unless I changed genre and went through a whole bunch of different research. So I'm gonna have to say no, but I do really love it. So it's nothing about the story.
All right, Jennifer, how about you?
Oh, I'm torn. I think I'm gonna say yes, but I might have to have the ghosts be not little kids looking for their moms. That's too scary.
Heather, how about you?
I'm debating. I think so. I have written a paranormal book with a ghost in it. I think I would do it if I had like a really good ending, and maybe even some humor in it, so it doesn't be too scary.
Well, I think everyone knows that I would definitely book it. I love it. I would probably have to write for a different publisher, but I would definitely book it. I think that is so wonderfully creepy, and that is just up my alley. All right. I think Deanne's got another story for us. Let's hear it.
Okay, so this one is probably my second favorite story, which is why it's on this show. So there's a place out in Stansbury Park called the Benson Grist Mill. If you've never been there, you got to go, for a ghost hunt at night or during the day. It's an old pioneer era grist mill, and they've got a bunch of log cabins out there. A fantastic place for, to take your family out to learn some Utah history. But it's also fantastically haunted. And one of the log cabins there, I call the loom room because there's a loom in it. And I was in there one evening with some people. It was, with Advanced Paranormal. We'd sold tickets and we were trying to have everyone have an experience. And I'm in this room, and there's a female spirit that's in that room that we talk to a lot. She's an adult. And, so we went in there and we were trying to get, some pictures and, evidence as best we could. And I glanced up, and in front of me was an old dresser with a mirror. And I saw across that mirror a spirit walk. Well, something walk. It had a round head. It had shoulders. It was gray and solid, and it had a gate to it. When you walk, you've got a gate. And I thought, that's probably a person. So I said, who's in this room with me? Because it was dark. And there was a woman that comes with us all the time, and her son. And I said, did one of you just walk across the, in front of the mirror? And they said, no. The woman said, no, I've just been sitting here the whole time. And the son said, well, I walked, but I didn't walk, that way. I walked this way. And I said, well, do the walk again. And so he did the walk again. And we spent probably a good 20 minutes trying to debunk that shadow. In ghost hunting, we have, different kinds of people. One of the kinds of people is a open-minded skeptic. And an open-minded skeptic is the person that says, I believe in ghosts, but not every shadow, not every sound, is a ghost. And so they're the people that are going to, try to recreate it. Is there a reason for this that's not paranormal? So we spent, like I said, about 20 minutes just doing everything we could think of to try to recreate this shadow, and we couldn't. And so I'm pretty sure it was a full body apparition that we saw. Well, that I saw. No one else saw it, but. And I've gone back there several times hoping to see it again. Haven't seen it again. So.
I love how you started off with, there's this ghost that we talk to a lot.
Well, she hates me. She hates me a lot. So when I've been in that room, I can feel her pinching my elbows. So it feels like little pinpricks.
Does she do that to other people that go visit?
No. Oh, and the reason why I finally got her to talk to me, I said, why do you hate me? And we have to ask yes or no questions, that they can turn the lights on and off. So it's a process. But this is actually a funny part of the story. So she hates me because I look like the woman that stole her man. So, we had to explain I tried to explain to her, and I was successful, because ghosts can be very in their moment. They don't look outward very much. And so, I said, hey, it's been 200 years since you were alive. I have nothing to do with stealing your man. And I finally convinced her, okay, you're in a different time. We're good. Well, then I took, it was like a year later, I took my stepson ghost hunting with us and walked in there. And I could just instantly tell that she was pissed off at me again. Oh, I'm sorry. That she was upset with me again. And so we had to ask her again through yes, no questions. Well, apparently my stepson looks like her man. So now she thinks I'm a big liar. And she hates me again.
The two of you together.
That is crazy. Okay, I'll go first. Would I book it? Perhaps not the walking ghost, but the jealous ghost? Definitely. That's a great story. And I could see that really making a fun kind of paranormal romance that's a little creepy and a little fun at the same time. How about you, Heather?
So I think I would book it as far as kind of that same storyline of a jealous ghost, or maybe the ghost that falls in love with the human. I know that's probably been done a few times, but it's just a fun plot line. So I'm interested.
Jennifer?
Yep, I do. I always do that on the wrong side. I like the jealous ghost. Also, I like the walking in front. The thing that I thought was so good about that story is it wasn't like something floated in front. You know what I mean? Usually when you hear ghost stories, the ghost is like floating, but that was, even ghostier, that it kind of had its same little gate. I thought was really cool detail.
Jen?
Same. I would love it. I think it's so fun. The jealous ghost, I would have to find a way to include the gatey, hovering sort of figurine guy too, who girl or boy, who knows? Because I just think it's fascinating. Very cool.
Nice. All right. These are awesome. Deanne, we'd love to hear another one if you've got one.
I don't know if this is necessary. Well, no, it is kind of a ghost, right? And I have a visual. So hang on just a second. So on our ghost hunting team, one of our gals, she and her husband will buy those pallets. The mystery pallets where you buy the pallet for $50 and then, you get what you get. You don't have a fit, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then you try to sell them and make some money off of it.
Yeah.
Well, we had a ghost investigation at Rock Canyon in Provo. And it is also fantastically haunted when you go there. And she came up to me and she said, we bought a pallet, and on the pallet there's an urn. And we don't want the urn. Do you want the urn? And I thought, somebody, so I have the urn right here. I thought, somebody is in trouble because somebody gave grandma away. And someone's in a lot of trouble. And so I thought, I took this urn because I didn't want it to end up in, like the garbage or something. And I made a few phone calls because as a bagpiping ghost hunter, I know a lot of morticians. So I called up a few people. I've got a couple morticians that will call me often to do funerals at cemeteries. And so I called them and I said, hey, I've got this urn that's, that got on this pallet and my friend bought it. I said, what do we do with it? And he says, well, you can put it in the garbage. And I'm like, you can't just throw away a person. And so,
Were there ashes in it?
Yeah, there's ashes in it. And so she lives on my desk. And we did a ghost investigation, and we determined it's a female, and we've determined her spirit is still with her urn. But she's pretty benign. She doesn't do much. But yeah, she just lives behind my computer until I figure out what to do with her. So if anybody recognizes this urn, let me know and I'll give it back to you.
Okay, that is super cool. That is
That
super
is
cool.
super cool.
Jennifer, would you book it?
Yes, I love it. I love that you have like a ghost friend in your office. That's really cool. That would make a really cool story, I think.
Heather, how about you?
Well, since Bridges of Madison County is on Netflix, I watched it the other day, and obviously that is no spoiler alert, but the main characters, they want their ashes spread in the same place. But anyway, but to find that out, it upsets the whole family. So I could see this could be super intriguing. So I'd love to like dig down and figure out what would make a fun story out of that.
How about you, Jen? Would you book it?
Yep, same. I'd have to figure out how to make it into a story, but like it'd be even a fun rom-com. Like, can people meet over grandma's lost ashes? I don't know. It would be funny and fun, and not to be disrespectful, but very meaningful too, right? So
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I think I would book it too. I think you could make a really cool story about it. You could take it in the rom-com direction. You could take it in all kinds of directions. I just read The Keeper of Lost Things, and it kind of has a similar theme where he finds things that are lost, and then he's got this friend that can tell kind of where they got lost from, sort of with the paranormal ability. And it's really cool. I could see a book kind of like that coming out of that. I love that you have a dead grandma mascot in the urn by your computer. That's awesome.
I do too.
I don't have anything that cool in my computer room.
I don't either. But you do have a voodoo doll, Julie.
I do, but I took Deanne's advice and I keep it locked away in the drawer, and I don't ever talk to it. My kids want to get it out for Halloween and put it in the main room, but I don't know if I am consenting to that or not.
And you have salt around it, right?
I don't. Should I do that?
Yes, put salt around.
Okay. I guess I need to put her in a little bed of salt. That's probably good advice.
But
Yeah.
Julie does carry salt with her everywhere. So maybe that helps to balance it.
I have a lot of salt in my system because I do eat a lot of salt. All right. Well, thank you so much, Deanne, for joining us today. It was so fascinating. I seriously could sit here and listen to these stories all day. I love it. I really do. We appreciate you taking
Thank you for inviting me.
That's cool.
It's been fun.
Don't forget.
Thank you.
Oh, go ahead. Don't forget to leave a comment here or on YouTube for a chance to win the Piper's Ghost book, and join us for our next episode, which is November 2nd. And so send in your crazy, weird stories of things that have happened. Thanksgiving is coming up. Maybe you've got a like a holiday story that's, too good to be true or too weird to be true. Anything. We're always looking for new stories to tell. And just send your submissions to fictionirlauthors@gmail.com. And you can subscribe to the YouTube channel to get updates every time a new video goes up. And we will see you next time on
Fiction
in
Real.
Bye.
Yay!
See you later.